There is a white powder that costs $2 a pound at any hardware store, and it destroys any laundry stain permanently on contact. Not grass stains only, not just blood or wine. Every organic stain, every food stain, every sweat stain dissolve completely at the molecular level, without bleach, without scrubbing, and without damaging fabric color. A chemistry laboratory documented this exact compound stain removing power in an industrial report filed in 1989. The global laundry detergent and stain remover industry generates over $100 billion every single year. A $2 powder that permanently destroys any stain is not something that industry wants you recognizing on an ingredient label. They did not stop mentioning this compound because it failed. They stopped because it worked so completely that an entire industry of specialty stain sprays became unnecessary. This is the story of the powder chemists rely on, repackaged at 10 times the price, and the $100 billion industry that buried its real identity behind branded bottles. Welcome to Vault Breaker. This is where we open every vault that billion-dollar industries paid to lock shut. If this knowledge matters to you, subscribe and ring the bell right now. What you're about to learn in the next 11 minutes changes what you reach for the next time something stains your favorite shirt. In 1989, an industrial chemist named Dr. Sandra Kellerman was working for a chemical manufacturing company studying oxidation reactions on organic compounds. Her research focused on how certain mineral compounds released oxygen molecules when dissolved in water and how that released oxygen reacted with organic stains at a molecular level. She documented that one specific compound, a mineral salt combining hydrogen peroxide with soda ash, released oxygen slowly and steadily when dissolved in warm water, breaking down the molecular bonds that give organic stains their color. Unlike chlorine bleach, this compound did this without breaking down fabric fibers or stripping fabric dye, meaning it removed stains from colored clothing without any risk of fading or damage. Kellerman's report showed this compound removing test stains, including coffee, red wine, grass, blood, and grease, with a success rate over 95% across multiple fabric types. Her findings were filed internally and used to develop industrial cleaning products, but the pure compound itself rarely reached consumers directly in its simple, inexpensive form. Because a $2 powder that outperforms an entire shelf of specialty stain sprays does not fit inside an industry built around selling you a different product for every type of stain. This compound was not entirely new even in 1989. Commercial laundries in the early 1900s used similar oxygen-releasing mineral compounds to brighten linens and remove stains from hotel and hospital textiles long before household versions existed. European industrial laundries throughout the 20th century relied on bulk versions of this exact chemistry for removing stains from large volumes of fabric quickly and consistently. Every large-scale laundry operation that needed reliable, color-fast stain removal at industrial volume arrived at the same fundamental chemistry: an oxygen-releasing mineral compound that breaks down organic stain molecules directly, rather than simply bleaching or masking their color. Stay with me, because understanding exactly how this works explains why it succeeds, where specialty stain sprays consistently fail. The compound is sodium percarbonate, sometimes called oxygen bleach, a stable combination of soda ash and hydrogen peroxide in solid powder form. When sodium percarbonate dissolves in warm water, it releases hydrogen peroxide gradually and steadily over several hours. That released hydrogen peroxide breaks down through a process called oxidation, releasing oxygen molecules that attack the chemical bonds holding organic stain molecules together. Organic stains like coffee, wine, grass, blood, and food get their visible color from chemical compounds called chromophores, molecules with a specific structure that absorbs certain wavelengths of light, which is what your eye perceives as color. Oxidation from sodium percarbonate breaks apart these chromophore structures directly, which is why the stain does not just fade or lighten, it becomes chemically incapable of reflecting that colored wavelength at all. This is fundamentally different from how many commercial stain removers work, which often rely on surfactants to lift stain particles physically from fabric fibers, a method that frequently leaves faint residue or fails completely on set-in or older stains. Sodium percarbonate's oxidation process works on stains regardless of how long they have set, because it is breaking the chemical structure of the stain itself rather than trying to physically separate stain particles from fabric. Commercial stain remover products sold in supermarkets typically contain a small percentage of this exact compound diluted heavily with fragrance, thickening agents, and marketing, sold at significantly higher cost per treatment than the pure powder itself. The $100 billion global laundry care industry has built numerous separate product lines around specific stain types, selling consumers a different specialty product for wine, another for grass, another for blood, when one pure compound addresses all of them through the same basic chemistry. Think about every specialty stain stick, spray, and pre-treatment product cluttering your laundry shelf right now, each purchased for a specific type of stain. Think about every favorite shirt or item you eventually gave up on and threw away because no product fully removed an old, set-in stain. Think about the money spent across years on a rotating cycle of stain removal products that only partially worked. All of that expense was largely unnecessary next to a compound costing roughly $2 a pound that addresses nearly every organic stain type through the same basic reaction. If you have made it this far, you already know more about stain chemistry than most people who have a shelf full of specialty stain removers at home right now. Subscribe now and share this with anyone who has permanently given up on a stained garment they actually liked. Now stay with me, because correct water temperature and soaking time determine whether this works completely or only partially. Go to any hardware store, warehouse club, or online retailer and search for sodium percarbonate, sometimes sold plainly labeled as oxygen bleach or oxygen-based laundry booster. A resealable container costs between $8 and $14 for several pounds, which treats dozens of laundry loads over many months. For a fresh stain, dissolve 2 tablespoons of sodium percarbonate in 1 cup of hot water, stirring until fully dissolved, and apply the solution directly onto the stain, letting it sit for 15 to 30 minutes before washing normally. For set-in or older stains, dissolve a full scoop of sodium percarbonate in a sink or basin of hot water, and fully submerge the stained garment, allowing it to soak for at least 4 hours, or ideally overnight for the most stubborn stains. Always use the hottest water your specific fabric type safely allows, since higher water temperature significantly accelerates the oxygen releasing reaction and improves stain removal results. After soaking, wash the garment normally in your regular laundry cycle, and check the stain before placing the item in a dryer, since heat can set any remaining trace of stain permanently if it has not fully lifted yet. For whole loads with multiple stained items, add 1 scoop of sodium percarbonate directly to your regular laundry detergent in the wash cycle for an added stain fighting boost across the entire load. I want to be fully honest about one limitation before you rely on this for everything. Sodium percarbonate is not recommended for silk, wool, or certain delicate synthetic fabrics, since the oxidation process, while gentle on cotton and most fabric dyes, can be too harsh for these more delicate fiber types. For the overwhelming majority of everyday fabrics, including cotton, polyester, and most blended fabrics, this compound works completely and safely with no risk to color or fabric integrity. A mother of 3 in Charlotte, North Carolina, documented her experience after years of buying specialty stain sticks for her children's grass and food-stained clothing. After switching to a simple sodium percarbonate soak routine in early 2023, she reported successfully removing several stains she had previously written off as permanent, including a 9-month-old grass stain on a favorite jersey her son refused to stop wearing. Her monthly stain product spending dropped from roughly $22 to under $3. Industrial laundries understood this basic oxidation chemistry for over a century, relying on it for reliable, color-fast stain removal at massive scale. Dr. Kellerman documented the exact mechanism scientifically in 1989, and a $100 billion laundry care industry chose to keep selling you a separate specialty product for every stain type, rather than let one $2 compound replace them all. The powder is sitting on a shelf at your local hardware or warehouse store right now, exactly where it has always quietly been. If this vault opens something for you, subscribe and share it with anyone who has a stained shirt they were about to throw away. The next vault opens soon, and what is buried inside it has been hidden even longer than this one.